128 million pound bids on the table to be brought to Manchester United to convince them to obviously sell Bruno Fernandez. Amidst all rumors looming around that Bruno Fernandez is looking for an exit out of Manchester United because of the salary that he's being paid at Manchester United not being equivalent to what he offers on the field of play. A team has gone ahead obviously prepare a 128 million pound bid to obviously lure him into a trap to obviously leave Manchester United. You worry a little bit when you are Man United and when you are Bruno Fernandes, especially if at all they want to give him a deal of 1.3 million pounds a week. Guys, that's ridiculous money. That is 1.3 times 4. That is 5.2. You understand? 5.2 million pounds per month times 10, that is 50 million pounds, and plus the other 10, that is 60 million pounds per year, a deal. And I tell you what, it's tax free. It's tax free. And if at all their taxes, they are like 2%. That those are the taxes that they're gonna really be deducted off the money of Bruno Fernandes, and that shows you how tempting it is. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys? And who are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Is it the third or fourth? I think it's the fourth video of the day. And I tell you what, we are still up and running, and I'm gonna really summarize this day today with a live video that's gonna be coming 2 hours from now onto this channel, talking Eric Ten Hag stains that is going to obviously be offered or really given to us by a certain United correspondent in there for you. Now, 300 likes, smash on this video, and don't forget to subscribe so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And we are talking and discussing only and only Bruno Fernandes into this video because there is a very huge offer that is going to obviously put on his table, and I think we are going to be talking Gunnar Solskjær a little bit in there for you and see how cast he is as a manager. Now, we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. And now, we obviously thank God and Allah for the gift of life to the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. And Team Talk have gone ahead obviously break a story that has gone ahead obviously coming from Saudi Arabia that Cristiano Ronaldo could unite with Bruno Fernandes at Al Nassr, who are seriously considering making a 128 million pound bid for the Man United captain. Now, this comes in through when Bruno Fernandes has found himself in a situation of pushing to secure a new contract which would put him on par with the salaries of Marcus Rashford, Casemiro, and Jadon Sancho. And Jamie Jackson Adzan says Bruno Fernandes signed a new contract in April 2022, but he reportedly feels undervalued and wants to be in the higher salary bracket. Now, let's first talk about Bruno Fernandes and the 128 million pound bid. Now, that bid is tempting, not only to the side of Bruno Fernandes, but to the side of Manchester United, because Man United need to rebuild that side. One of the quotations that Sir Jim Ratcliffe went ahead to make were like, he believes United don't have a Paul Scholes. And a Paul Scholes would have gone ahead to be a Bruno Fernandes because Paul Scholes was really playing in that number 10 position, creating chances and obviously scoring those goals, something that Bruno doesn't do on a consistent level and basis. And Ineos might be like, all right, we've gone ahead to assess the club of Manchester United, and Bruno Fernandes is not the right guy to obviously play in the number 10 position. Something I really believe, because for the years Bruno has been here, he hasn't gone ahead obviously replicate that, and they would find themselves an easy way out. Obviously, say getting that 120 million pounds or 28 million pounds, or even make it 150. We give you Bruno Fernandes. After giving you Bruno Fernandes, they get that amount of money. They look in for players like Aveshkeria, you understand. They look in for like a Berechi Eze, because I've gone here to see him play that number 10 role very well. All else, they might look in for other players that are really good in that position. So that is what is boiling in my head. But for Bruno, for that to happen, Bruno has to give green light to that transfer, because I don't think that at the age of 29-30, Bruno is ready to go and play in Saudi Arabia. I think he believes that he still has some other 5 years playing at the top level, because he is not an injury-prone player, and he only missed out a game for Man United, either when he's suspended or recently when he really got his hand, really get what we call a fracture, and he missed out on the game we played against Crystal Palace. That is Bruno Fernandez for you. So that is possible and it's not impossible, and it's possible and impossible depending on the stance of Manchester United. 120 million pounds is really a huge offer to the club of Manchester United, and it's a proper profit, because Bruno Fernandez was brought in here for like 55 million pounds, because his money that United used to buy him totaled to 65 million euros. That is like 55 million pounds, meaning that they would have gone ahead to make a profit of close to 70 million pounds as a profit into that ilk that the game of football will be getting in there for you, for the club of Manchester United. So it's really very important to note that it's not going to be the same. I tell you what, it's not going to be the same. And I tell you, when money comes on the table, you know how tempting money is. Money is very, very, very tempting, I tell you. And we don't know what Bruno is going to say. But all of this is coming up to really put United to pressure, because he went ahead and met the officials of Manchester United and told them, I want an increment in the salary. That's what Bruno told them. Give me more money, because you're paying Sancho £300,000 plus, Rashford £340,000 a week, then Casemiro £360,000 a week. Why don't you get me more money? Yet I'm performing better than those players. And in your scheming through to obviously dislodge all those players that are really earning huge. But amongst all those players that are really hinted on, there is a Marcus Rashford who is not really gonna get moved on. If Man United can obviously move on these players, for example, Casemiro, Rashford, and Sancho, then Bruno will be like, all right, I'm the highest paid player at the club of Manchester United, and I'm earning £240,000 a week. Because when all those leave, he will be the highly paid player at the club of Manchester United. And for an elite club, they try to keep their wage bill of the highest paid player at £300,000. They don't want to exceed that, unless otherwise the player is that exceptional. And Marcus Rashford is not that kind of player. And Varane has left. He was earning £300,000 to £330,000 a week. Anton Martial was earning £250,000 a week, more than Bruno, and they've gone ahead to leave. So we wait and see how that pans out. But he has gone ahead to put the board onto what we call a very, very, very tough condition, because they're in a dilemma. How are they going to really conduct this? They cannot move on Marcus Rashford, but Bruno Fernandes wants to be earning more than Marcus Rashford. If Rashford is earning 340, at least Bruno should be earning 350, because he has gone ahead to put in performances that Marcus Rashford hasn't gone ahead obviously put up. And to my own understanding, he has been the most consistent player post the Sir Alex Ferguson era. That is it. He has been consistent every season. He has gone ahead to average 20 goal involvements. That is really unheard of from a player ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left the club of Manchester United. So I think he really has a point in what he's really offering, and Ineos have to obviously do the needful and find a solution to what this guy's call is. And we are told by the same people that this is Grammy Bailey. Bruno Fernandes met with Man United in early May in a meeting led by Sir Dave Bresfold and Jason Willox. Bruno made it clear he wants to stay and is open to signing a new contract, but he wants United to meet his ambitions. Willox outlined the club's plans, both short and long term. Now, all what he wants to, if I'm to stay at the club of Manchester United, you have to meet the money I'm really calling in for. And that is it. Dave Bresfold is part of the board, and Jason Willox is the new technical director, and he was trying to convince the guy to obviously stay at the club of Manchester United. And he was like, you want me to stay, I'll stay, but I want an improved contract. And trust me, his new contract will be worth £300,000 a week plus. Because Ineos's plan is to obviously offer such contracts to people or players that have gone ahead to obviously show that they're really exceptional. That's what Ineos is aiming at. And I tell you what, it's really gonna go outside there in the board to discuss whether this guy is worth this amount of money. So we wait and see how that pans out, but a lot is really cooking. Bruno Fernandez yesterday played for the side of Portugal, and he scored a brace, by the way. He scored a brace, and I think I should show you his game by numbers here before I go into the Gunnar Solskjaer curse. Bruno Fernandez, where are you at? Bruno Fernandez Borges. Bruno Fernandez Borges went ahead and obviously scored a brace yesterday that resulted into very many people to obviously come out to really put his stats in there for you. And I think he even came off the bench and he played 45 minutes. They were playing against Finland, 45 minutes, 60 touches, 46 out of 50 accurate passes, 6 passes into the final third, 4 shots, 3 out of 3 accurate long balls, 2 chances created, and he scored 2 goals onto the night. That is Bruno Fernandes for you. And he continues to obviously put in a very huge shift. And in the Euros, he's going to be very pivotal into what the side of Portugal really earns in there for you. Because if he's in the mood, he will really create very many chances in there for you. But Ronaldo wants him and Casemiro at Al Nassr. He wants them there because he knows exactly what it means to have them at that club. Now, let's go to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a little bit. This story was put out by Rob Dawson that Besiktas are closing in on the appointment of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as their new manager. And finally, they never appointed him. They went in for a player called for a manager called Van Bronckhorst, formerly at Rangers, and I think even coached PSV, and is trying to obviously elevate his coaching career. Dutch legend, and left back at Arsenal, left back at Barcelona, and very many other teams. He really put in a shift, and I tell you, he was one of those players that you obviously want to watch in and out as a left back. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's curse continues on. Remember, even there is a championship team that was really looking at him last season, and they couldn't go for him. Look at Kylian McKenna, who was his assistant. He went ahead to manage Ipswich from, I think, is it League One, and then he brought it to the championship and then promoted it to what we call the Premier League. You understand? And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's career died a natural death when he came into at Manchester United and couldn't obviously look out to be a tactical manager and how to manage those players. And now even a team like Besiktas couldn't obviously appoint him. People had already started to obviously come up with allegations or expectations that, imagine Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Jose Mourinho again on the touchline, as they did when Jose Mourinho was managing Tottenham Hotspur and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was managing Manchester United, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the new manager for Fenerbahce, and if at all this guy went in through, would have gone ahead to find him there. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still looking for a job, and I don't know which side is obviously going to offer him one, but I think if I'm Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I swallow my pride, I go to the championship, I start managing those teams, and he never knows, he might obviously resurrect his career by really promoting it to the league and obviously offering him the best that he deserves. So guys, thank you for watching it through. Rokan David is my name. Tell me your thoughts about Bruno Fernandes, £128 million bid. Prepared, you know? Do you go for it, or you keep Bruno Fernandes here? You get? And is Bruno Fernandes worth a contract of £300,000 plus a week to be the most highly paid player at the club of Manchester United? All that and more into the comment section below. And good night to those going to bed. We are still having one more video to go. It's gonna be a live video onto this channel, and hope you guys are really going to enjoy it to the fullest. Rokan David is my name. 400 likes on this video. Don't forget to subscribe because we want to hit 18,000 subscribers, and let's continue to do the due diligence of that. Guys, I'm out. See you later, and I hope today you've gonna hit to get a full blast of what the stories are really making what we call rounds all over the transfer network. Bye bye.